So President Obama made a decision about who to nominate to the Supreme Court, and he chose a guy named Merrick Garland. And this guy is from the D.C. Circuit Court, which is the second most powerful court in the country. So as far as qualifications go, he's beyond ready. So think progress reports here. Garland graduated with high honors from Harvard Law School. He clerked for Justice William Brennan and spent a few years as a partner in the multinational law firm Arnold and Porter, and he also held senior positions in the Justice Department. Now, on top of that, he also was a prosecutor in the Oklahoma City bombings. So in some very high-profile cases, he was a prosecutor. So he has a deep, deep resume. So what do we know about his positions? Well, first, let me go ahead and give you guys the good aspects of his policy positions and his beliefs. Quote, Tom Goldstein, writing at SCOTUS blog, said Garland has tended to take a broader view of First Amendment rights. In a number of split decisions on environmental law in the D.C. Circuit Court, Garland has favored contested EPA regulations and actions when challenged by industry, and in other cases he has accepted challenges brought by environmental groups. In cases involving the Freedom of Information Act and similar provisions related to government transparency, Judge Garland's rulings reflect a preference for open government. Okay, so far so good. He also ruled in favor of upholding a federal ban on federal contractors making federal campaign contributions. So it appears like, based on the information we have right now, he's liberal on campaign finance. Now, we actually don't know what his position would be on, for example, Citizens United, but if that's any indicator right there, he's on the proper side of campaign finance rules in the sense that he upheld certain ones, okay? Again, maybe that's not indicative of how we'd be in a broader sense, but on the information that we have, we know that in specific cases involving campaign finance law, he sided with liberals. So that means, in total, in summation here, he's liberal on perhaps campaign finance, the First Amendment, the environment, and on government transparency. Okay, so this is, the bone that's thrown to the liberal base and progressives in the country, where Obama says, see, look at these issues, he's a good guy, let's be in favor of him. Now let's go to the bad. Quote, he has a relatively conservative record on criminal justice. Judge Garland rarely votes in favor of criminal defendants' appeals of their convictions. Okay, so what that tells me is perhaps he's right-wing on Fourth Amendment cases, so on privacy rights. Perhaps he's right-wing on death penalty cases. If he's rarely, listening to criminal defendants' appeals, well, that means that if somebody tries to do a stay of execution, for example, in a death penalty case, he's more likely to say, take a hike. That's not good. That's basically the opposite of Justice Ginsburg, and that's the opposite of what's supposed to be a liberal justice. So that really concerns me. And also, if he's really tough on, quote, criminal justice, well, that scares me in terms of drug cases. That scares me in terms of issues involving the drug war. So those are really bad and really questionable. And in fact, I haven't even gotten to the biggest red flag yet to me. The biggest red flag is the following, quote, in 2003, Garland joined an opinion holding that the federal judiciary lacks the authority to assert habeas corpus jurisdiction at the behest of an alien held at a military base leased from another nation, a military base outside the sovereignty of the United States. An opinion that effectively prohibited Guantanamo Bay detainees from seeking relief in civilian courts. Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a vote for Guantanamo Bay. It's a vote for indefinite detention being just dandy. That's bad. Okay? That's no good. Now, on top of that, when you go to business interests, there are many business interests, big business interests, corporate interests, that are like, Merrick Garland, we're not going to object. Now, typically what you'd like to see is when a Democratic president makes an appointment to the court, you want to see, right-wingers in the country and corporate interests say, no, this guy's crazy, this guy's so liberal, it's insane, you shouldn't be in favor of this guy. Because that means that he's probably going to crack down on business interests, and in corporate cases, he has a history of siding with people who are bringing the suits and saying they're getting fucked over for a variety of reasons. But the fact that they didn't say that leads me to believe that Merrick Garland is more or less okay with business as usual and sides more or less with corporations. Now, perhaps I'm overstating it, and perhaps it's more of a mixed case here, but overall, do I like the pick from President Obama? No, I don't. I like it better than when he picked Sandoval, who is a Republican. He was going to nominate a Republican to the Supreme Court just to try to get him approved. But here, it's not that much better. So what happened is there were some top Republicans. It was either Orrin Hatch or maybe Chuck Grassley, was it? It was either Orrin Hatch or Chuck Grassley who said, Obama could make his life a lot easier here and just nominate Merrick Garland, and then we'd probably approve him 1, 2, 3. And in Obama's mind, he thinks, yeah, I'm going to show them by nominating exactly who the fuck they want me to nominate, and that'll teach them. And in fact, again, Orrin Hatch or Chuck Grassley, they went on to say, Obama probably won't do that. He'll probably, nominate somebody to appease his liberal Democratic base. So they're, baiting him. They're like, well, you could nominate this guy and we'd love it, but you probably won't. And he's like, yeah, I'll show you. I'll nominate this guy. Hey, jack off. That means you're giving them what they want. So, riddle me this, guys. When we have Republicans in office, we get right-leaning justices. When we have Democrats in office, we get center-right justices. When are we ever going to get a liberal justice? When are we ever going to get a liberal justice? Very simple question. The answer is we're not, because the Democratic Party is weak, and they buckle. And this is in their nature. This is what they do. And I swear that I think the establishment Democrats really think they're getting the Republicans when they do this. I think Obama's like, aha, I got you. No, but they got you because they're so obstructionist and they're so strident in their far-right views that you keep buckling to accommodate those views. So they're full crazy and they demand that you meet them halfway, which means that you propose people who are half crazy. The midway point between full crazy and not crazy is half crazy, and you're agreeing, yeah, let's go with the half crazy guy. Or how about when they keep pulling the Overton window to the right, which is the realm of respectable debate in the country, you say, fuck that, I'm going to pull it way to the left. How about that? And guys, understand, I get it. So right now, the makeup of Congress is against Obama and it's against the Democrats. So it's well, you got to give a little bit here and there. But the thing is that bugs me is that they don't even try when it comes to being progressive or when it comes to being liberal. They don't try. So there's this thing called playing politics and trying to crush your opponent in the realm of ideas and concepts and in a philosophical debate. And what you do is, when you think you have the winning argument, you go to the American people. You go to the media, and you do interviews. And you say, let me explain something to you. The overwhelming majority of the American people want these assholes on the other side to hear out the nominee. They want to have the hearings. They want an up or down vote. The fact that they're not even going to do an up or down vote, well, that shows you that the Republican Party is not interested in the will of the people. The Republican Party are fascists. So how about you ask the Republican Party why it is they've embraced the mold of fascism? This is how you hammer them. And that's just one argument, but there are 1,000 arguments you can make where you say, hey, wait, you guys say the American people need to be heard. Well, you're doing the opposite of that. I was elected. I'm the president. So I get to make the pick here, and you get to vote up or down on it. Now, you can keep blocking it, be my guest, but then don't pretend like you're in favor of our system of government. Why do you hate the American system of government? Why do you hate the Constitution? You have to hammer them in the realm of ideas, and you have to force them to the table to the point where you tell them, look, if you don't work with me, your career's over. We said this before, but the best example of this that I always come back to is the gun debate when it comes to gun reform. So we had a plethora of mass shootings. We had them seemingly every week last year. And the Republicans decided we're going to block any and all reform. Any and all reform. So that's an extremist position. Now, the Democrats had literally 93% of the American people on their side on the issue of universal background checks. The Republicans said, I don't care, we're not even going to consider it. And then the Democrats were like, okay, we'll buckle and do a watered-down background check with massive loopholes, but something. They're like, no, we're going to filibuster that too. So what did the Democrats do? They put their tail between their legs and they ran home and cried to mommy. They didn't do anything. Nothing. They just said, okay, I guess we lost. How is it the Republicans can try to repeal Obamacare 55 times? It's a losing battle, but they try to do it over 55 times. How is it that they do that when they can't even win, and you, when you can win on an issue where 93% of the American people are with you, fucking crickets. Nothing. You don't know how to fight. So you go to the media and you say, they just filibustered a bill that 93% of the American people support. Media, ask them why they're fascists. Ask them why they're dictators. Ask them why they're tyrants. Ask them why they want your kids to die in a mass shooting because we don't have simple universal background checks to stop crazy people and former felons from getting guns. They didn't do it. They don't know how to do it. This is the same thing right here. The same kind of mindset, the same kind of mold. Why would you not propose a liberal and then hammer them in the media and say, you guys are blocking this. You guys don't care about the system. You guys don't care about America. You guys don't care about the Constitution. And then guess what? When they slap down the first justice, why not propose another liberal justice? Say, oh, really? That's cute. Here's somebody who's just as liberal as the last guy. And you keep blocking it, I'm going to keep going to the media and portraying you as obstructionist because you're fucking obstructionist. How about that? And I haven't even got to the most pathetic part yet. You ready for this? So he proposes Merrick Garland. Jiu-jitsu, I got you! Yes! I proposed the guy you wanted, so I got you. I got you. What do the Republicans do? They spit in his face. So we're not even gonna consider him. Think about that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he proposes. Chuck Grassley literally said yesterday he could propose George W. Bush. We're going to be against him. So if they tell you no matter what, we're against it, no matter what, why would you not propose a super liberal person anyway? Propose somebody you actually like. Propose somebody who agrees with you. Propose somebody who's actually progressive. If they're going to say no matter what, why risk it by giving a guy who's fairly conservative? And then what'll probably eventually happen is after a while, they turn around and they go, I guess you twisted our arm. Approved, approved, approved. And then what happens? You got somebody on the court who's way more conservative than they need to be. And you think you got them, but they really checkmated your ass. And then on every single issue, they'll keep doing the exact same thing. They're so obstinate, they're so extreme, they're so crazy that they end up getting what they want anyway. You know, another good example of this is Obamacare. President Obama came along. His starting position in the negotiation was not single payer, which is the actual liberal position. His starting position was already a cave, where he said, okay, public option. So that's like what's supposed to be the compromise, but that's gonna be our starting point, public option. And then what was the Republican counterproposal? Dick, bupkis, ass cheeks, nothing. They're just like, how about nothing? How about we don't do anything to the system? How about we have 45,000 people continue to die every year because they don't have access to basic health care? How about we just leave it as is? So now that's the right-wing position. So what do Obama and the Democrats do? We're going to cave again. Now we'll do the plan that you used to propose in the 90s, the individual mandate plan. This was Richard Nixon's plan back in the day, then Mitt Romney's plan, Newt Gingrich's plan, Chuck Grassley's plan, a right-wing think tank plan, the Heritage Foundation. They wrote policy papers about it. We'll do your original plan that you proposed in the 90s. I got you! No, you didn't. They got you. They got you. If you started with the position of single payer, well, then maybe the compromise would have been the public option. And the way that you get that compromise, by the way, because at the time they had a supermajority, is you make the blue dogs fall in line by threatening their careers, and then you get the yes vote. You may have even been able to get single payer. There were some truly progressive Democratic politicians at the time who said, we have the votes for single payer. They just didn't want to make the blue dogs fall in line. So, but that's how you compromise. That's how you negotiate. That's how you win, but they don't know how to win. They just Give them 90% of what they want, and then they go, we got you. No, you didn't. The American people just got.